Hey guys, this is Derek from the Wrestling IQ 101 podcast. Just want to let you know about this great partnership that we have with Collar and Elbow now. You can check out all of their great merchandise at collarandelbowbrand.com. Make sure you use the code WIQ101 to get some great savings. Everybody likes saving money. I like saving money, so you should too. collarandelbowbrand.com, the WIQ101. It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do they thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Former President of the United States, Barack Obama. You're listening to Wrestling IQ 101.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew alongside Derek.
Yep.
And you can follow Wrestling IQ 101 across all platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. And today we're joined by Ike Phillips. Man, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing all right, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to finally get to talk to you on the podcast. I told you in person the other day. You're Mr. Wrestlemania to us now, so that.
It's crazy. It's so weird even hearing that.
But
yeah, I'm hearing it every day now. It's just as weird as the first day. I don't know if it'll ever register to me.
That's so funny. It's like as soon as I saw you at WrestleMania, I think that's like the first thing that popped into everybody's head. I was like, damn, this guy's Mr. WrestleMania now.
I know. I hope I can make it to a few more where I can really establish that name for myself. I hope it just wasn't a one and done, because it was a really, really cool experience, and I hope I can definitely get to do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny. I turned off my phone and I was telling the guys next to me, they were from overseas. I was like, I know that guy. It's Ike Phillips. Yeah. And they're like, really, mate? And I was like, yeah. I know that dude. I know that guy. It was so funny. I turned my phone back on, and the first thing I see is Derek. He goes, Ike Phillips. And I'm like, yeah, that's it, man. It's so awesome. It's cool when you see somebody, working so hard, get that opportunity to even just appear at WrestleMania, or even get, like you did. You got a huge opportunity. We'll get into that in a bit at SWF this past weekend.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like you say, just to even be able to be asked to be at the venue is an honor. But to actually have like a spot on the show, words can't even describe it. I mean, there's so many amazing guys, past, present, and future that could be right in that spot, but they chose me, and I'll be eternally grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think, because WrestleMania and I just wrestling in general, it's made up of moments. So
Right.
For something like that, and the spot that you were put in, this is with Braun. It's like it's gonna be a WrestleMania moment that's looked back on like for years to come. How does something like that make you feel?
It's like I said, like it hasn't even like really registered. Like it definitely registered that I did something for WWE. But as far as WrestleMania, it hasn't really like sunk in that I did WrestleMania. I mean, that is the show of all shows, and of all the years. I mean, there's only been 35 WrestleManias, and you can't take that away from me. I mean, forever I can be able to turn on the WWE Network, be able to show my kids one day, like, hey, look, your dad was on WrestleMania, and even my grandkids in the future, your dad was on WrestleMania. Like moments like that don't get lost in in the archives. It's that WrestleMania is something that will live forever, and it's just such a cool experience that I got to be a part of it, and I hope I can be part of it again because it was just an unreal experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's even cooler because you're from Jersey, and it must have some special meaning knowing that people who grew up maybe watching you at OTW or watching you at other different shows, they're seeing you on this bigger platform. It must have been kind of cool, even extra.
Yeah, it was really cool, and like as I'm working my way backstage, after I got those hands, I'm starting to hear Ike chants. And I heard a couple other people that I grew up with. I heard them screaming my name too, and that part was really cool. I was like, geez, what if the stadium erupted in Ike Phillips chants? That would have been amazing. I'm not that well known yet, but yeah, I heard a group of people chanting Ike, and I was like, oh my god, like this is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. And geez, I've had so many awesome moments in my life, and I've been fortunate to be on the big stage in a couple different aspects outside of wrestling. But to add this to the resume, it's just like I feel so blessed and so fortunate to have these opportunities. It's unbelievable.
How is the catering?
It was good. They started to run out of stuff towards the end.
Really?
Because I didn't have a TV in the extras locker room, so we were watching it out at catering, and I noticed towards the end, maybe like the last 3 matches, they were running out of stuff, and some of like the main roster talent were going back there trying to get something, and there wasn't any left. But no, it was great. Breakfast buffet, lunch buffet, dinner buffet. I was happy. I was well fed. It's nice because I did NXT and they didn't have that down there.
Really?
So I brought some. They had food trucks on the outside, and I just brought some protein bars and stuff with me just to hold me over. But I mean, they took really good care of you with catering back there. It's nice to just get a nice meal and a lot of variety and stuff like that. So it was it's nice when you have to worry about something like that.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's cool.
Now, I've always wondered when it comes to stuff like this, when you're doing like, extra work, is this something like you have to like keep it like close to your chest? Like, were you able to let like any family or friends know like, hey, I'm going to be, debuting, I'm going to be doing something at WrestleMania, or it was kind of like something you just had to, just kind of keep to yourself?
Well, they had sent me an email like 2 days before just telling me to bring multiple suits. And so I didn't really know what exactly for. I had assumed, just using context clues, I was going to be a part of Batista's entrance, which is actually what most of the extras ended up doing. And and I was asking around to some of the extras. I was like, do they ask you to bring suits? And just everybody was like, no. And I was like, okay, it's weird. And after 2 hours of being there, they told me what I was doing. So I call time was 10 o'clock. Around noon, they finally found me, and they asked, did anybody tell you what you're doing? And I said no, and they filled me in. I was like, oh geez, that's one crazy opportunity. And they sent out an email and they tell you, no pictures before the show, no, don't go up to talent, ask for autographs, pretty much act like professional.
Yeah.
They didn't specifically tell me not to tell anybody what was going on, but just trying to be a professional and knowing how the wrestling business is and how WWE is, I figured it was smart for me to not really say anything. A couple people that I'm like super close to, I just told them that I'm going to be on the show in some capacity, and to make sure they watch. But I never said anything in specific as to what I was doing.
Jeez.
Yeah,
So
cool.
so how do I know you got to be like, your nerves got to be like going crazy because it's like you don't know what you're doing. It's WrestleMania, and then they're just saying, bring some suits, and we'll let you know what you're gonna do.
I was really questioning. Like, I wasn't like super nervous at first because I said I figured I was going to be a part of Batista's entrance. I don't know. It's just like the first thing that clicked into my head. It just seemed like wearing a suit for his entrance would be the most appropriate. But then after they told me, I was in such shock, and definitely some nerves set in. Then we went through rehearsal and everything like that, and I was fine there. And then about a half an hour before I went out, then the nerves really started kicking in. I was super nervous, and then the second I walked out there, I walked out there probably 2 matches before the Battle Royal, and all the nerves went away.
Wow.
I'd love to tell you, as soon as I stepped out in front of 85,000 people, I was nervous, but to be completely honest with you, I wasn't nervous at all. And even when I stepped in the ring, as soon as I got in there, it was like another day in the office. And regardless, even how wrestling is, standing across from Braun Strowman is definitely it's definitely nerve wracking. That part, he's still an intimidating guy. At the end of the day, I mean, guy's absolutely gigantic. Yeah. But as far as the whole crowd and everything like that, and the environment, I wasn't nervous at all, and it could be because the whole being in the NFL stadium thing. I don't know if you guys know, I did coach 2 years in the NFL for the Cleveland Browns, so I am used to being on the sideline for NFL games. So maybe that being in that environment was actually helpful for me, because I was used to being on the field in front of that many people. And so honestly, when I went out there, all the nerves went away, and it was just another day at the office.
Sure. Did you just go over to the SNL guys and be like, if I get hurt, maybe, do I have a shot in comedy or something like that? Did you make some contacts?
Those guys are great. They were, I wish I had a shot in comedy. That would be cool. I feel like my life's a comedy sometimes. You either look at this as a tragedy or a comedy, one of the two. Yeah. But no, those guys are really cool, super down to earth. And my uncle's actually a cameraman for Saturday Night Live, so that connection actually helps. I actually didn't tell them that, and while they were there, but I had my uncle tell them that when they went back to Saturday Night Live the next week. And Michael Chase thanked me for taking the beating for him.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
But those guys are super nice. Really, really cool guys. We got along very well, and it was awesome being in the ring with them. They were more nervous than I was.
Really?
I don't care what they tell you. If you ever happen to have a chance to talk to them, they were nervous, and I know they're used to being on the big screen or whatever, but they it's tough. They were getting thrown out of the ring, and you're not trained wrestlers.
Sure.
They're nervous, and that something might happen. But we went through everything a few times, and they were put up their confidence. But they knocked it out of the park. They were awesome. True professionals. It was a pleasure working with them.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of ironic. You used to work with Cleveland Browns, and they came out with the Odell and the Cleveland Brown jersey and stuff.
Oh yeah, he knew he was going to get some good boos for that, and I told him, I was like, "Oh, you nailed that out of the park with that jersey. That was the one to wear. I mean, you got to do whatever you got to do to get that crowd reaction, and they nailed it. They got a lot of boos, more than I expected, because at the end of the day, they're not wrestlers, and they do great work at Saturday Night Live. So it's people really do like them, but and they work right out in New York City, and we're right there in New York City too. So they did a good job of doing what they were supposed to do, and that was get the boost.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like wrestling fans are the toughest fans, because it's you'll love somebody that does anything else, but as soon as they cross over into that realm of wrestling, you're just like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, wrestling fans are tough. It all depends on show to show. The shows I like working the best are the ones that are in front of kids. That's the easiest, and they know to cheer the good guy. They know to boo the bad guy, and it's just it makes life so much easier for us when we're in the ring. But the wrestling crowds can be tough, and 85,000 of them are of the most passionate ones are super tough. But it was cool. I don't appreciate the ones that were chanting "Get these hands" when I was standing across from Braun. those ones, they can go. I definitely got him. I was feeling it for about a week.
Wow, yeah, he's a big dude. I got to meet him in person, Braun Strowman. He's a monster for sure. Let me ask you this, man. You had an interesting journey to get into standalone wrestling, right?
Yeah. So actually, I'm about to. I am going to post this on my Facebook soon, but I'll tell you, I sent out a message to Standalone Wrestling last summer because I'm from Atlantic City and they're running a show in Atlantic City. So I'm like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity for me to work in front of my hometown crowd. I know I'll be able to draw really well, so let me reach out to them and see what they say. And I reached out to Standalone, and the message I received back was, pretty much, thank you for your inquiry, but we're not looking for any talent at this time. And being myself, I don't like taking no for an answer. So I kept pushing it, and I had a lot of people asking me because they do such a great job of marketing that the word was out that there was a show going in Atlantic City, and everybody from here. Atlantic City is a super small town. I don't know if anybody realizes that. It's huge in the summertime. You get tons of tourists, but in the wintertime and the rest of the season, it's a super small town. A lot of us know each other. So everybody was asking me, "Are you going to be on the show? Are you going to be on the show?" I was like, "No." They told me there's no spot for me. It was like, but if you guys want to see me, feel free to message them, write a comment on the social media. Do what you got to do to if seeing me is something you guys want to do, and they kept doing it, and they kept doing it, and they kept doing it, and finally got the attention of Standalone, and they were looking for an after party event, and I managed over at Bungalow Beach Bar, and we got to talking, and next thing you know, I'm on the roster, and now I'm sitting here as Trifecta champion. So it's in less than a year, I went from not having a spot on the roster at all to being Trifecta champion. So it's just a testament to I always say this: if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way to make it happen, and if you don't, you'll find an excuse. I'm just one of those guys who doesn't like taking no for an answer, and I'll keep grinding away until I get what I feel is an opportunity that I can succeed in. So I was super fortunate to be able to have that opportunity, and now I'm fortunate to be Trifecta champion.
Yeah, well, hell of a ride for you, man, for sure.
Yeah, and just with all of this, just like how is it different that things like this are happening with Standalone, and it's like in your backyard of Atlantic City, as opposed to you wrestling anywhere else?
Oh, it helps for a number of reasons. First being the crowd. With me being a babyface and wanting to be cheered, it helps being in front of a hometown crowd because I can draw upwards to 50. I've drawn up to 100. For a show of people just coming to see me. So, when you come out and the crowd you get a huge pop from the crowd, it's unbelievable. And then the people who don't know you, they hear that you're getting such a big reaction from the people that do. They're like, oh, well, this guy must be worth something. He's getting a big cheer. I don't know why I don't know him, but this may be somebody I might want to follow in the future. So that helps being in front of a hometown crowd. The second thing that helps being in the hometown is travel, because you guys know that some of the wrestlers that have to travel hours upon hours just to get to a show for little pay for the most part. It's tough and it kills your hours. And for me, my shoot job at Bungalow in the AC Beer Garden, when we're in peak season, I'm here 6 days a week for anywhere between 17 to 20 hours a day. And yeah, it's crazy, but worth every bit of it. I love the job. It's that's a whole nother story. It's a great place to be, but just for the whole traveling aspect, for me to be able to be right here and travel 5-10 minutes for a show is super convenient, and I'm fortunate fortunate that Atlantic City is starting to pick up professional wrestling. It's really nice.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting because, you spent so much time at H2O, OTW, and it changed over to H2O. And, how's that change been? Because, it's the same locker room, like the same building, but it's a different place, right?
Yeah, it's a completely different place. I miss OTW a lot. We were running weekly shows there. Sometimes we have good crowds, and sometimes I'd work in front of 2 people, but we were running weekly shows, so I was getting matches every week, regardless of whether I was booked somewhere else or not. And then those repetitions are huge, and training was so great, and I learned so much, and there were so many guys that have had their hand in helping me be as successful as I am today. And I'm truly grateful for that opportunity, and it's just unfortunate that it closed. But I have stopped by H2O a few times to do some training, just to just not get rusty. And it is the closest training facility to me. Help out some of the younger guys. It's more of a beginner class right now. A lot of the guys are super green, but just to get over there and get some reps, and maybe you pick up a pointer here and there, I still find it worth it. I try to go maybe like once every 4 or 5 weeks just to get up there, get some reps. But yeah, I really do miss OTW, and we're still running a couple shows with OTW, and it's nice to see all the guys again.
Sure.
Because it's tough to get everybody together now. But I have another home promotion, D2W, up in Wharton, New Jersey, which they took a lot of us OTW guys in, and that's a great locker room in there too. So I really consider that place my second home. And Jersey Devil, who runs that, he's a great guy, and I love working for them. It's a good place. So at the same time, life moves on, and now I have a home with the Trifecta Brand as well, and they're becoming family to me as well. And
Sure.
It's great. I'm very fortunate to have a lot of places that are willing to take me in and treat me as family.
Yeah, for sure. And you kind of talked about a little bit earlier about how maybe being a coach with the Cleveland Browns helped you out with the pressure of being at WrestleMania. Are there any other any other things that being a part of football has helped you out with in comparison to wrestling, with all the disciplines that football has?
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, I had two years at the Cleveland Browns. I had 4 years in Arizona State University and 2 years at the University of Miami head coach. So that's, I think, a total of 10 years, something like that, maybe 8. And just being between all 3 of those places, and being in a professional sports setting and in such a high pressure setting, it's definitely helped me be a better performer, because as a coach, I know what my expectations were for my players, and I wouldn't expect them to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. So really, kind of coaching myself sometimes, whether it's pushing myself at the gym or pushing myself at training, or doing all the things that don't even require any talent. There's a huge list of things you can do that don't require talent that can help you succeed and being professional and staying in shape and all the little things that people like. That is what coaching has helped me. That's why coaching has helped me so much in this industry. And the biggest compliment I get from most places isn't about my work, but it's about how professional I am, how I carry myself, and how I treat other people, and all those things that I've learned from coaching and what I expected from my players. I try to do myself, and I think it's finally starting to pay off. It takes a little bit to get on people's radar and get them to believe in exactly what you're doing, but it's definitely starting to see the results of all that work and the discipline that I gained from coaching.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I know you're a Jersey boy, and you worked with the Browns.
Yep.
But how excited would you be right now if you were coaching the Browns still to this day with this new team?
Trust me, if I have another opportunity in NFL, that'd be awesome. awesome. I mean, who knows? Maybe the wrestling thing doesn't work out. I'll get an opportunity in the XFL. But,
yeah, that's true.
don't think I haven't thought about working that angle yet either.
Yeah.
But Cleveland Browns look like they're going to do something really good. But at the same time, if there's going to be a team to screw it up, it would be the Cleveland Browns. So,
That's true. This is true.
I honestly hope they do well. I lived there for 2 years in the city, and they have such a passionate fan base, such a loyal fan base, and they really do deserve to have a team that they can be proud of. And I really do hope they get it, and I think they're definitely on the right track. I mean, the entire office is completely different from when I was there. I probably only know a handful of people there that. I mean, I was there like 10 years ago now. Seems like yesterday, but it's been that long. But I think they're definitely on the right track, and I wish them absolutely nothing but the best. And if they do need me, they know where to find me.
Yeah, sure. You know, if I had my own team, I would pick Virgil as my water boy. He'd probably make so much money for us.
Probably.
You know, let me ask you this, man, because you must be pretty excited. I mean, you're watching everybody around you, you know, flourish, and now you're getting your opportunity to do so yourself. But when you see guys like Brian Johnson, you know, he's wrestling consistently for ROH and other people from OTW. You know, you gotta be like to yourself, there's a future now for me, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's so many guys that so much talent coming from OTW. It's ridiculous. I mean, you got guys like Mick Drake, who's up in New York City, and he's doing some stuff for Booker T's promotion out in Houston. And you got guys like L.A. Barats, Jerry Benders, who has worked with us at OTW, and he's super successful, and he's getting extra work down at NXT as well. Adam Chandler, who is fantastic, and he's finally starting to get a little bit of push in some places, and he just got on with the Trifecta Brand as well. And Justin Pusser, who is another awesome worker. I mean, mentally, I think he's one of the more brilliant wrestlers that I've worked with, and I hope he steps back in the ring soon, because I definitely miss having him in there. And then you got young guys like Tyler Carney, who's definitely on his way up. I mean, kid's in great shape. He works hard. Acts as a professional, and the kid can wrestle too. So just there's so much talent that comes out of OTW, and it's just a shame that it wasn't one of those more well-known promotions. If you regularly went to these shows, you would just see like this is a super talented roster, and we got the proper training. But it's really cool to see everybody succeed. I prefer watching everybody else succeed more than myself. I was so happy when I heard they all got roster spots within the Trifecta Brand. That was a happier moment for me than, you know, myself, my own match, because a lot of those guys have helped mentor me along the way. And you know, sometimes you can't do anything in return for some of these guys that have already established themselves, and you're like, what can I do for you after everything that you've done for me? And for me to be able to help them connect in with the Trifecta Brand, and for them to all earn roster spots, it wasn't because of me. They earned the opportunity. I was super happy to see that, and it's always nice to have friends in the locker room. So that was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'll tell you, like, I started going to shows a couple years ago, and I was, you know, I felt like all by myself, like an island by myself. But yeah, once you start making friends inside the locker room, you know, it's a good place to be, you know. And
yeah, I think a tight locker room is super important. And I'm a really quiet guy. I'm not very talkative. I don't really put myself out there to talk to a lot of people. I just kind of sit in the corner and get down to business, and that's about it. But you know, you do connect with these guys that you've trained with and stuff like that. So to have them in the locker room, and it's not a knock on anybody else. I mean, everybody else within Trifecta Brand has been super nice to me, super helpful. I haven't met anybody that I disliked yet, really, in this in this whole industry. But unfortunately, because I know some people don't get along, but honestly, I haven't met anybody that I disliked, and so. But it's nice to have some of the guys that you're a lot closer with in the locker room with you now. So it's definitely cool. I was really happy to see them all get spots.
Yeah, well, I know two people are not very happy with you right now, and that's Jimmy Controversy and Frankie Picard. That was a grueling matchup that you had to go through, and that got pretty personal.
Yeah, it did. Sometimes people feel the need to get involved in your personal life, and even say some stuff that's not true. And at the end of the day, I'm an adult and I handle myself as best as I can. But it definitely did get into a little bit of a war, but we made it all work, and I think we put on an awesome show for the crowd, and it was an honor to be able to set the tone for the show, being the opener. And they're both two fantastic competitors, and I would get back in the ring with either one of them any day of the week. That was one of my favorite matches I've had in a while. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
You have to think that Frankie Picard is not going to let that go, though. You took the title from him, but well earned for sure.
Absolutely, he deserves a rematch, and he'll get a rematch when the time is right. I'm not sure what the Trifecta Brand has planned for that, but when the time comes, we'll have that match, and I'll be ready to defend it.
Yeah. Now, how does it feel like, being a part of Trifecta and, just with the opportunities that comes along with that? Because, the way they're structured is, there's 3 shows, and you could be defending that championship on every show. If Chad has his way with it, I know that would definitely happen.
Yeah, it's a really cool opportunity, and Chad, Billy, and Rob have done such a great job of putting this entire thing together. These guys work tirelessly to try to make this brand the best brand in the area, and I think they've succeeded already, and they show no stopping them whatsoever. I mean, they are running shows nearly every week, and they're consistently getting solid crowds nearly every week. So that's just a testament. I'm happy to be able to work for these guys, and being the Trifecta champion, you're exactly right. That means I am champion of all 3 brands, and I have to defend it within all 3 brands, and I'm prepared to do that. And I consider it an honor that I'm able to hold this title, and I'm respected enough to be the champion of all 3 brands. It's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And then, earlier we talked about, a lot of great talent that's out there, brought up names like Brian Johnson and, Justin Pusser. If someone were to ask you, what separates Ike Phillips from everybody else, what is your answer to that?
Wow. I think it's my simplicity.
Yeah.
I mean, in an age where a lot you come, and this isn't a knock to anybody, because there is a place for it now, but it's spot fest all the time. Everything's a spot, and everything's a backflip and fancy this and fancy that, and profanity and all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm kind of old school, and I just try to tell a good, simple story through my matches that a crowd can follow. And it's hard to find that anymore. It's a lot of people are in there to pop themselves, pop the locker room, get this in, get that in, and I'm so opposite of that it's almost refreshing that you see an Ike Phillips match, and it's like an old school style match that you'd find maybe in the late 80s, early 90s. I don't do anything crazy. I don't get into the hardcore thing, and there's nothing wrong with that because there's a huge market for it. And I don't get into the double back flips, and nothing wrong with that either. There's a huge market for that as well. But it's just not what I do in an age where you see so much of that. I think it's actually refreshing that you see a guy who really gets down to the simple, basic fundamentals and tries to tell a good story through his match that the crowd can actually follow.
Yeah, I was going back, and I remember you had that Jewish championship, right?
Yeah, I did. I won that off of Jerry.
Oh man, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, being a fellow Jewish person myself, I'm kind of jealous you had that title.
I know. I wish I still had it.
Do you think
I never even defended it.
No.
No. It got stripped away from me after I dropped it after I won the classic title, and apparently it was too much for me to hold 2 titles, so I dropped that one. I kept the classic one, and I wish I had that. It was a beautiful title.
Yeah, that was an awesome title. It's like the $1 million title, right?
Exactly. You nailed it. It's pretty much that. We made it work, though.
Yeah, it makes my people proud, so it's hilarious.
Absolutely. I'm one of your people, so it made me proud too.
Oh, mazel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Derek's looking at us like, "Hey, mate."
We convert him.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's kind of there. He just needs to eat some more matzah.
I'm honorary.
Yeah.
Eat some more matzah, get you a bar mitzvah, and you're good to go.
I'm honorary. I don't know. I'm a little on the dark side to be Jewish, but you know.
That's all right. We've had plenty of them. I've come across plenty.
For sure.
Yeah, it's awesome. When you look back now, throughout all the matches you've had, who's been the one opponent that you could wrestle all the time, or somebody that you haven't wrestled that either in WWE or the Indies that just you feel like you would match up with?
I definitely have to give it to somebody that I have had worked a ton of times, and that's Mick Drake. When him and I get in the ring, I just feel like we're both on the same page as far as psychology, as far as moveset, as far as where we want to be and when we want to be there and how we want to get there. And I could work him a million times over, and we could have a match and not say a word, and I'll know where he's going to be, and he'll know where I'm going to be. And I really find him to be a brilliant worker. And I would love to work him any day. Like, as soon as I work promotions and they say, "Oh, you're going to work Mick," I'm like, "Oh, great. I don't have to worry about anything. Everything's all the nerves go out the door. I don't have to think too much. I can just be my character." And I think we've had some super incredible matches. We went on a streak for a while where, we had a whole thing going in OTW. We must have worked like 5-6 matches together at OTW, and then we go debut at a couple other promotions, and we worked a couple other promotions, and every single time I was at another promotion, who was I working? It was Mick, and it just happened to be that way. But I think it's because we work so many times and we have a very similar mindset, and just both of us being adults and mature and having the same mindset. It's super easy to work with him, and I would love to work him another 1,000 times over.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And it's somebody that you haven't had a match with and that you would want to have one.
I need a rematch with Braun, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
I mean, I'm probably setting myself up for disaster, but I feel like it's only appropriate.
Yeah.
One guy that I trained with forever, and I've actually never worked in the match, is Adam Chandler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's crazy because I've been working for over 5 years now, and we've trained together, and we've traveled to a million shows together. I've never had an opportunity to work with him yet, so I would love to work with him. I've had a couple matches with Jerry. I'd like to work with him again as well. Honestly, I'm down to work with anybody as long as they're safe, and that's just the pure, honest truth. There's so many great guys out there, and Chad really does a great job of setting me up with some top tier talent, and I can obviously attest to that. As we're set up for After Dark with Sonny Kiss and Chris Banks, so I'm super excited for that opportunity as well. I mean, they're really setting me up for some great talent, and they said I'm down to work with anybody. I'd love to give you like more specific people and bigger names and stuff like that, but you know, I'll work whoever you put me in with. I'm just trying to be as professional as I can, you know.
Sure, yeah, we hear you.
Definitely. Now, after being at WrestleMania, is there any like getting back to normal after this? Like, I'm pretty sure I would hope that this helped out like with bookings and stuff. I'm pretty sure everybody's advertising you as Mr. WrestleMania Ike Phillips.
It's been so crazy ever since, and I really appreciate you guys having me on. And every little bit helps, of course. And I have to roll with it. And I will. But yeah, the first like 2 days from right after I appeared, and the next 2 full days after that, my phone was just non-stop. And when I'm working, and I bartend on top of managing at the beer garden in Atlantic City right now, and I'm behind the bar, and my phone is just going off nonstop, and I'm talking to customers, and I'm doing my thing. I'm behind the bar. I can't just pick up the phone and answer it and respond back to everybody. So, after a long days of work, I go home, and then you open up your Facebook, and there's 50 friend requests and 35 notifications and 20 messages, and then you have 20 text messages on top of that. And I have 2 Facebook accounts, one for my personal and one for my wrestling. So I'm getting it on both ends there, and it was just absolutely nonstop. And I'm not like upset about it. It was just a little overwhelming. And that first day, I was at work, and and people were stopping in to see me as well at my job. And I was just like, I can't wait for this day to be over. I just want to get home to my fiance and be able to like celebrate with her, because I hadn't seen her for 3 days being on the road. I was just wanted like a nice quiet evening with her, and just to be able to hang out with her and watch that, and just look back and watch the show and just enjoy the moment with her. But it's still going a lot of new friend requests, a lot of messages, and I think I got back to everybody. I honestly try to get back to absolutely everybody, because I do appreciate the support, and without everybody's support, I'm nobody. So it's really cool, and I appreciate it, and I sincerely hope I got back to every single person. And if there's anybody listening that reached out to me and I didn't get back to you, please message me again, and I absolutely will. It's just been such a crazy experience, and you're getting comments everywhere you go now. But yeah, it's cool. Like, it's a little weird for me, because like I'm a quiet, shy person in my personal life, and I'm not really one to put myself out there, and I advertise myself a bunch, so to be noticed at places and for people to come up to me, it's definitely cool. But it's a little different for me, just because of how my personality is.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy, man, how far the journey has been taking you so far. When you look towards the future, obviously it's WWE and Impact and New Japan and All Elite Wrestling. These are the top places in ROH. Sorry, do you care which one it is, or do you just want to get that contract right now?
I do care which one it is, and it's WWE.
Wow.
And I hope somebody from there is listening to this, because that's where I want to be. It's where I feel most comfortable. To be honest with you, when I was down at NXT and when I was at WrestleMania, I felt like I belonged. Like I saw myself there. I didn't feel out of place. It didn't feel awkward for me. Like, I stepped back there. I was like, I feel like I belong here. And it's not a knock on anybody else. I'd be honored to accept the contract from anybody else. And if anybody else offered me a contract, I absolutely would take it in a heartbeat. So I'm not knocking any of his promotions. They're all fantastic. Yeah. But the goal for me for when I started this thing was WWE. It still is WWE. It always will be WWE. And I hope they saw something in me in that short period of time that I was able to work for them, that they say, hey, maybe this is somebody that we can work with, whether it be a talent or, maybe a backstage role, or even as a trainer, maybe one day, given my coaching experience, or even in the XFL. I don't know, but I love the company, and I feel like I was a part of it when when I was there, and that is the goal. But like I said, if Ring of Honor wants to offer me a contract, I'd take it in a heartbeat. If any of these promotions that are well established want to offer me a contract, I'm there. But at the end of the day, I am WWE.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because it's not impossible. I mean, look at a guy like James Ellsworth, right? He was one day just an extra with Braun Strowman, and he was on top of the world, for a little bit here in WWE.
It's with anything, and when you're trying to reach the top of anything, I find it so much that it's more luck and timing than anything else. I'm not the most talented worker in the world. Everybody knows that. I know that. There's guys that can do amazing things that I can't do. But I was at the right place at the right time, and I was who they were looking for, and at that point, you just have to take advantage of it to the best of your ability, and be the best version of you that you can be, and I hope I did that. It could have been anybody. It's crazy just to that it was WrestleMania. So you're thinking about all the talented wrestlers, past, present, and future, that have never had an opportunity to work at WrestleMania. So many guys that are backstage, NXT guys, main roster guys, that have never had an opportunity to be on WrestleMania, and I got that opportunity. It's so humbling and just a surreal experience that sometimes I ask myself, did I even deserve that? But it's just how it goes. It's right place, right time. Same thing when I was coaching too. I mean, there's super talented coaches that can't break into that Division I or NFL ranks, and there are guys that are up there that I didn't find to be great coaches that somehow worked their way in through connections and this and that, and I know that's not the most encouraging thing for me to say, but at the end of the day, it's reality. And so I try to be as realistic as I possibly can. But I was at the right place at the right time, and I hope I did enough to at least get on their radar where they can take another look at me in the future.
Yeah, for sure. This could definitely turn into something where you could return for sure.
There's definitely a storyline there. I mean, come on, you got Braun Strowman has a therapist now. Like, try to calm him down. This is a story you can go for a year.
Yeah.
We can meet again at the next WrestleMania. I definitely see a storyline there. I hope somebody sees that too, and hopefully Mr. McMahon sees it, which is the most important thing. So. And we can do this thing again, because I really enjoyed my time there, and I would love to do it on a full-time basis.
And as nice as it would be to see you at WrestleMania again, hopefully we don't have to wait a year and for you to come back on WWE TV.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully it'll be a lot sooner than later for you, because that'd be pretty cool to see you every week, and also at WrestleMania for sure.
Yeah, I'm staying in touch with them, and I'm hoping to just get that green light. So we'll see. I'm just waiting and just doing my thing until then,
Yeah, we know you like football. But is there any other sports that you like baseball? Are you a Mets fan?
I'm all over the place in my fan. Being a fan, I grew up one of those guys that had to be different from everybody else. So while everybody was Eagles fans, I was a Giants fan.
Okay.
I'm no longer a Giants fan. Honestly, I'm just a fan of whoever can give me a job in coaching. But one of my best friends, Teddy, who I worked with and lived with in Cleveland, he works with the Raiders. So I cheer for him and his success. And I have another good friend, Ben, who works with the Cowboys, and I hope for his success. And another friend, Chris, who works with the Redskins, and I hope for his success. So I really just hope for my friends to be successful that are still in the business, and I hope they get to move up. As far as basketball, I grew up a Bulls fan. During the whole Michael Jordan era, so I was front running then, but I stuck with them now. And I'm a Marlins fan for baseball, and I've been struggling for a while on that. But I think I'm the world's only Marlins fan.
Yeah, you come over to the Mets if you want. We got some cookies and.
I would love to. But you're in the same division as the Marlins, and it just conflict of interest there.
Yeah.
Don't worry, nobody's ever worried about Marlins Marlins fans. Like I said, I think I'm the world's only Marlins fan, but I'm a proud one, and they got a beautiful stadium. I wish they'd fill the thing up. It's so tough in South Florida. There's so much other stuff going on, but I love that team, and I hope they can be successful again one day. I did get 2 World Series out of them, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Or you could become a Lakers fan. They got LeBron, so I mean.
No, they're not doing too well as a team, though.
Yeah, but he's still the greatest of all time.
He is. That guy is one amazing athlete, absolute freaking nature. It's awesome to be able to see some of these guys in your era. I mean, guys like LeBron James and Tom Brady in football, just that are going to go for right now is the best of all time. So it's pretty cool to be able to live in a generation to be able to see something like that. It's really nice.
Even the greatest of all time in baseball, Mike Piazza, we got to live through that. So
the
greatest player. The greatest player.
Yeah.
You're gonna stick with that, huh?
I don't know if you noticed, but Andrew obviously has bad taste in teams. He's just he's not a Lakers fan, by the way. He just goes wherever LeBron goes.
I'm a Laker fan since day one.
He used to be a Cleveland fan, Miami fan. Now he's a Lakers fan.
Actually, I was a Kobe and Shaq fan. So
yeah. Are you gonna watch?
And I like Rick Fox.
Are you gonna watch the Lakers game next week?
No.
See,
they're not doing well.
Yeah. You see, this is how fake a fan he is. He doesn't even know it's the playoffs right now. The Lakers aren't in it. You see that?
I was gonna say, the Lakers aren't playing next week.
You see that? You see?
No, because they're not doing well.
That's terrible.
It's awful. Trust me, I feel your pain. I mean, all my teams haven't seen postseason for quite some time now, so it's all right. I enjoy watching whatever I get to watch. I like watching all teams play. I enjoy watching sports, and I've been getting into soccer lately too. A couple of guys that I work with are really into soccer, so I've been getting into that now too. Which is cool, and I like to enjoy boxing, and I really enjoy all sports. I like the competition.
Yeah. What when you were a coach, what was your specialty? What did you coach in?
So I was mostly defense. Most of the time I was with the defensive line.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So that was I was playing defensive line in high school, so that was an easy transition. It's not that I told them I was playing defensive line, let me help with that, but that's just kind of where they put me in. So I learned a lot. I had a lot of great coaches that I got to work under. So head coach-wise, at Arizona State, I was with Dirk Cutter for 2 years, Dennis Erickson for 2 years there. And then with Cleveland, I was with Eric Mangini 2 years, then Al Golden at University of Miami for 2 years. So I got to learn under some really great head coaches, and then awesome assistant coaches under that too. So it was a really cool experience. I missed working in the NFL. That was a lot of fun. I wish we had gotten some more time there. I don't think 2 years is enough for any coach to build a franchise that's built for long-term success. So I hope in a day and age where people are a lot less patient to see success, I hope they start giving some coaches a little bit longer to turn the team around.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm a Tampa Bay fan, so I definitely know about Dirk. He was a good guy for us.
He was great. He's such a great guy, and he took care of me really well when I was at Arizona State, and that's he gave me my first job, so I'm eternally grateful for him. Super nice guy. I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think the Mets have kind of adopted your philosophy, but with like bad coaches.
So they're out there, all right.
So
there's I don't know too much about the coaching with the Mets, but there are some bad coaches out there. But like I said, it's about right place, right time, and who you know, and not always about what you know.
Yeah, they're pretty patient with bad coaches, the Mets. So I can understand being patient with some good coaches. Sometimes takes a while.
Yeah, when I was in Cleveland, I truly felt like we had like a really, really awesome staff, and some of those guys, assistant coaches, have gone on to be super successful with other teams. And I really wish they gave us some more time. That staff really felt like family, and I do miss it. Every single one of those guys that I was with there. that was a good experience. A lot of work. I mean, we grinded during the season. I mean, I tell you, I was there 20 hours a day, nearly 7 days a week. I'm not lying, but it was enjoyable. I loved every bit of it.
Man, that's awesome, man. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Where can people get you on social media if they want to hang out with you?
Yeah, so I'm right now. I'm on Facebook under Ike Phillips. Can friend request me on there, shoot me a message on there. I'm really good at responding back within a day or two. If I'm off from work, I usually respond back right away. And I do have a Twitter at Ike Phillips 13, but I forgot my password, and I'm trying to figure that out right now. And I think I forgot my username too, like my email to get in there. So I'm trying to work out the combinations of all my emails and passwords. And I haven't figured it out yet, but I will get that figured out within the next week, I hope. Instagram, everybody keeps telling me I got to get an Instagram. I'm just not a big social media guy. But I know in this day and age, you have to get the social media. That's how you get people to follow you. So I will get an Instagram soon, just without me pulling the trigger on that, because I am very anti-social media, but it's just the way it is. So I have to just accept it. But yeah, Ike Phillips on Facebook is the best way to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Like Ike Guys, for sure. He's a great wrestler. He's a great person. Ike, we really thank you for taking out the time and talking with us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor that to be able to be on this show with you guys. You guys are both awesome. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. No problem. And as for us, guys, we're Wrestling IQ 101. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all streaming platforms, here on the B Plus Player Network, YouTube.com, Google Play, iTunes, all that good stuff. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you listen. And as always, thank you for listening. And for this episode, we are out.
See ya.
You have just listened to the Wrestling IQ 101 podcast, powered by B Plus Player Radio.